Mass Effect going on in my ears here, so I get to stay amped. And let's go ahead and kick off today's morning session. We're going to make this pretty quick because we have our morning meeting today in the office, so I don't want to hold you guys up. All right, so good morning. Today we're going to be talking about farming lawyers. At the end, that's really what it is in its simplest form. Some of you have heard my thing on farming lawyers, but I think what I'm trying to do with this morning training thing is, progressively always adding more, progressively always adding more. That's what I really want to do. Now you see what, Edie? Oh, yeah, my screen? Yeah, so, yes, okay, yeah, so I just opened up my screen so everybody could view my screen and what's going on. Today is mostly going to be a lot of talking. We're going to make this pretty quick. It's not going to be a whole lot of time. I will tell you, I'll post it up later. I actually did a podcast with Don Costas on Flip Talk that went in depth on this concept. But like I said, the whole goal, since we just started this thing, I'm going to kind of go from the basics and go in depth. And we'll just kind of go every day. I'm going to start inviting people, so I open it up to our affiliates. I'm going to start reaching out to some of my friends that may want to jump on so I can actually have them on for you guys. And I'll be recording those talk sessions so you can ask them questions. And really, when we sit down in our meeting today at the office, I want you guys to give me concepts and ideas, things that you want to learn so I can go out and find these people. And this is going to be a lot easier than trying to get them into our office. I can literally just get them online, and we can do a morning training session with some of the coolest people in the business nationwide. So that's really what I want to accomplish. But today, we're going to talk about farming lawyers. And there's a reason why I think this is important. A lot of people are always looking, I hear all the time, how do I find this and how do I get this kind of a deal? So here's the beauty about lawyers. Whether there's a death in the family, whether there's a divorce, whether there's financial issues, just about anything. It doesn't really matter what it is. Most people, a majority of people, end up going to a lawyer. So this idea and concept sort of came from a little while back. Chet and I, we used to, really Chet used to go down to the courthouse, and he would go after probate leads, and it was awful. It was confusing. He'd be gone all freaking day. He'd come back stressed out, and then we'd start campaigns to try to reach out to these probate people. And, we had some success with that. And then we started paying somebody to go and do probate deals for us and go into the courthouse for us. And same thing, we had some success. I was going next door. So the office that we used to work in, it had two lawyers next door to us. And one of the lawyers was an old retired Marine. And, he was an old retired Marine, really cool guy, big sports memorabilia guy. And I was talking to him one day, and I just asked him, because I says, do you do a lot of probate deals? And he says, yeah, man, that's like my bread and butter. That's where I make a majority of my money. And I was really surprised to hear that. And I was like, well, we're in real estate. Now, what's interesting is we didn't get the courage to go and talk to him about this in particular until we actually started building the retail business. And I went and I says, we do cash deals and we buy homes and we renovate them. He says, yeah, I know. And I says, we also have a retail business. So, who are you using to sell these homes for your people that are, have probate situations? He says, honestly, I don't really have a person. And I was like, interesting. Well, so you don't have a person. So what do you have? Where do you come up on your agents, your real estate agents? So he started going through and telling me the process of how he picks agents. He basically said, now it's funny because I tell you guys all the time, what's the number one truth in this business? People pick their real estate agent based off of the first or second agent that they're exposed to. He says, I get these cards every month. And he reaches over in his desk and he starts pulling out all these freaking cards. He says, I get these cards every month. And I kind of just start looking through the cards until I see one that I like. And then once I see one that I like, I just call that agent. And I was floored. So this is how you pick your real estate agent. You look at a bunch of cards. You look at the one that's the snazziest, that's got the most panache, and you just call him and say, hey, I got a deal. I want you to list and sell. And he says, yeah, pretty much. So we started going deeper. I ended up scheduling an appointment because I was just like irritating him at that point. I scheduled an appointment to go over and see him, and we started talking. And I says, so what if you were to like commit to an agent? What could they do? What kind of value could they bring to you to really make things easier for you? What would make you want to call them all the time whenever you have a probate deal? And he started telling me stories about different situations that he'd been in with clients. And he says it happens pretty often. So you have to keep in mind, he's a lawyer. He's been a lawyer for a really long time. That's all he's ever done. Yet what he was having to do was become a handyman. He was ended up having to become a cleaning specialist. He was ending up having to become a hoarder, whatever they comes into the whole hoarding TV show, whatever those people are that go with the garbage dumps, all that stuff. So the family was hiring him to get this house sold. He knew he couldn't, or the estate, settle the estate. He knew he couldn't settle the estate until certain things were done. So now he's becoming a flipper for the family in order to get paid. He's having to go in with shovels and cleaning out houses. And this is an old guy. He's a pretty old guy. But he's having to get this stuff done because most of the time the family either doesn't have any money to invest in the home to get it just cleaned out, or the family doesn't really give a shit. They just don't care. So they're like, wow, whatever, just put it on the house. Put it on the market. Just get it sold. But he knows that, it can't. Not only that, but when he goes to a traditional real estate agent, what do most traditional real estate agents say? Oh, wow, you have to clean this before I sell it. Because most agents don't see the value or the gold in just saying, yes, we'll get it done, and then getting it done. So most of these families don't have money. They don't know what to do. They just leave it in the hands of the lawyers. The lawyer's job, he's getting paid. And let me tell you, they get paid good. Lawyers get paid pretty damn good to settle these estates. And as he was telling me, there's little things that I learned from him. There are bread and butter things that happen for lawyers every day. Yes, he's a lawyer. He does all this stuff. But bread and butter for him was probate deals. Other lawyers, bread and butter to them is going to be divorces, just doing divorce paperwork. Other people, it's going to be bankruptcies. There's lawyers that literally, that's all they specialize in is bankruptcies, Chapter 7, Chapter 13s. So he's like, look, Chris, if a real estate agent came to me and could find a way to express to me that I don't have to worry about anything, literally, all I need to do is call them and they're going to take care of it, I would probably always use them. So I talked to him, and then we started doing deals with him. We started doing deals because that's what we did. We took the pain away. He had one client that I think was deep into foreclosure, hadn't paid, and it was a probate deal. The mother had died, passed away, and behind on mortgage, behind on HOA dues, and all sorts of stuff. I mean, it was a hot mess. Just the property was in bad shape. So we brought in our handyman, the lady that sort of inherited the property and the problems. Because you got to keep that in mind. A lot of people don't realize when you look to settle the estate, somebody has to settle it. You're not just inheriting the estate or the money. You're inheriting those debts and that problem. And most of these families, they just want it done, and they would love to maximize their returns. Now, for those of you that are really listening to what I'm saying, if you aren't seeing dollar signs and you aren't getting ideas right now, then you need to check your pulse. You need to check your pulse because you got to remember, we have the Renovate to Sell program, folks. We're able to go in, renovate a home at no cost to our client, and our contractors get paid at close of escrow. Now, what if you said, you know what, man, I could probably pitch that to a bunch of probate or divorce lawyers. Could you make some money off of that? I'm just going to answer that for you. The answer is yes. So let's go deeper. So after talking with him and seeing the benefits of this idea and concept, well, then we started talking about, okay, we could be down in the river with everybody else fishing. And that's really where everybody is. When it comes to probates, when it comes to divorces, when it comes to tax liens, and all these other things, people are in the river. They're going to the courthouse. They're buying lists. They're sending off yellow letters or white letters or postcards. They're doing all of these things that cost money, and they've already missed the opportunity. They're in the river. Now, what I always found unique, have you ever seen a bear go fish in the river? No. When it comes salmon season, the bear goes upstream. He sits up there upstream, and he waits for those damn fish to jump right in his mouth. right in the mouth. Crazy, big ass bear, fish, jumping right in their mouth, just chomping on them. And that's really the opportunity that you have here. So now what? You got the idea. You heard the concept. Now what? Well, I've been telling you all, you have an opportunity to either, if you got money, you have check equity. If you don't have money, you got sweat equity. You guys are starting to build out your daily routines. Within that daily routine, why don't you start making it a point? And I have a whole list. I have over 700 plus lawyers that it just got done from a friend of mine who's finishing his law degree right now. He actually went through and got everybody for me in Riverside County and San Diego County, every lawyer that deals with these types of things. You jump on the phone, and instead of scheduling listing appointments with potential listings, why don't you start treating lawyers like listing clients? Why don't you give them a call and actually say, I'd like to come over and interview for the job and show you what programs we could do to help your clients, to help you, really, at the end of the day. We know how probates work in California. We know how divorces work in California. We work a lot of divorce deals. And we want to show you how we can add value to you to make your job easier so you can get paid and your clients can be taken care of. We have programs. In fact, if you want, I'll send it to you digitally. In fact, if you want to take it to the next level, you try to find these people on Facebook or LinkedIn, and you connect with them and you start feeding them your information. But you go out there and say, I want to sit down. Can I get about 20 minutes of your time so I can sit down and show you what I think we could do, Kim Steele and Associates, led by me, on what we could do for your clients to make your life easier. We have a renovate to sell program. We can actually walk into your clients. We can renovate their homes, or even if it's a hoarder or something like that, we can just get it cleaned up and cleaned out. So we can get it on the market, and we'll do it at a reduced commission to take care of your people and to get it sold quickly. What if you started actually interviewing for listings, do actual listing interviews with lawyers? Could that change your business? I'm going to give you the answer. The answer is yes. It could change your business. There are plenty of lawyers out there that absolutely want to meet somebody just like you because they're doing exactly what my buddy was doing. He's going through postcards that are getting sent to him every month and just picking somebody. Now, other things I learned. Do some of these lawyers have their own real estate agents that they always use? The answer is yes. They absolutely do. And that's one of the things that I learned. But you know what? At the end of the day, this is a business. It's a business for them. It's a business for us. And if we can provide value, and by the way, this list I have their names, their phone numbers, their addresses, and also their email addresses, just so you all know. So you can start reaching out to them by email. You could even put their information into sync. You could put them into sync. And you could start sending them videos. You can start sending them flyers. You could start sending them emails. You could start sending them text messages. You could start doing slide dials with them over Agent Legend. Are you guys kind of seeing how cool this is? Anybody else? Is anybody else like kind of interested in this? Or is this just, am I just talking here?
Definitely.
Okay, so other people are like, oh, this is pretty cool. Okay, good. So now here's the thing. I'm going to keep building on some of these ideas and things because a lot of you are putting in the sweat equity. And as long as you keep putting in the sweat equity, I will keep dumping more of these ideas and concepts on you, and I will help you build it out so you are running down that path. Now, this is another reason why I think it's important that, you know, whoever's listening to this and it catches your attention, this is why I think it's important that you explore this idea and concept. I learned from talking to my buddy Phil. I just told you that it was the bread and butter of his business. He probably did anywhere from 3 to 5 probate deals a month because guess what? People are going to keep dying. That's what we do. It's the American way. We just die, right? They're going to keep dying. When you gain the respect and loyalty of one of these lawyers, how many deals per year are you potentially going to get? Let's just say he's giving you 1 deal per month. How many deals per year are you going to get? How many families' lives are you going to change because you walked in with multiple programs and ways that you can help them to maximize their money so the family can get paid? How many of those families are going to make this money and say, hey, what else can I do? Well, you could take this money and 1031 exchange it. Hey, you could take this money, you could buy a rental. Hey, you could take this money and buy your dream home. And imagine that it's not just one lawyer that you're working with, but it's 10 or 20. Could that change? Could that be life-changing? That could be life-changing. So I just saw a message come up from one. Okay, so these lawyers are giving something to you. How can you thank these lawyers for their business? What can you do? Look, one, great question. The big thing is that you're providing a solution. So that's what I was trying to explain earlier. Phil's biggest thing was, Phil's an old guy, and Phil's out there having to, basically he was telling me stories about them swatting rats with their brooms, and he's sitting there shaking his head going, I've been a lawyer for 20 plus years. I've been a lawyer for 20 plus years, and I'm over here cleaning up trash and swatting rats. Being able to provide the solutions, one, is a big deal. A. B, is there a way? So you start working with lawyers, they're giving you deals. Well, what do we like to give when we get deals? Well, if possible, we give deals back. Okay, so you're a lender. You just brought me a listing. Well, guess what, Mr. Lender? I'm going to bring you a deal as well. So what you do for the lawyer is you start putting the word out there. Juan, you're probably the best and most predispositioned person to do something like this. You already have something set up called Real Community. You can go over and do photos. You can do exposés on these people. You can start trying to field that information out either online, or you can field that information out to local newspapers. Now, what I would also say, Juan, which I haven't gotten a chance to talk to you about, and the rest of you, if you want, you can listen in. There are a ton of online magazines and news feeds that are hungry for information. I have a whole list of them because this is something I'm exploring and looking to do myself. They need people to write stuff. They need contributors. Imagine if you started going deep dive into probate and lawyers and how to pick a good probate lawyer or something along those lines, and you actually started interviewing people and did that. Imagine if you started creating your own TV channel and you started doing these videos. Sort of like if I want to grab the Blitz and I want to start interviewing lawyers on the Blitz, which I'm going to start doing stuff like that in general when I sit down and start recording the video off of GoToMeeting. I'm going to start interviewing all sorts of goofy people just so I can put them up on the Real Estate Blitz. I'm going to start building a relationship. So where did I learn that in specific? When I had my radio show, and I know Chet's somewhere rolling his eyes. Oh, he's talking about the radio show again. Yes, I'm going to talk about it again. I don't care, Chet. Get over it. When I had my radio show, the guy that got me on the show, he taught me some valuable lessons after my first or second show. He says, look, your radio show is not there for you to go and actually talk about anything. Honestly, I don't even care if you have dead air. Your goal is to bring people in to interview them that can potentially give you future business. That's who you're bringing on the show. It gives you an opportunity to bring them into a live studio environment, put them out on the airwaves, ask them a bunch of questions, build a relationship. You are the expert now in their eyes because you have a live radio show on ESPN. And in return, you turn around and start asking them for business. So that is what your TV station should be about. It's an opportunity. So one, like I said, your predisposition, because you can start writing out these things, trying to field them out to contributors. And it would be fantastic. You can start putting this stuff together and actually putting it out there. Look, nobody wants to talk about death until death comes up, and then they're all confused and they don't know what to do. That kind of information needs to be put out there. And being able to interview local lawyers and posting it in local groups, whether it's in San Diego or Riverside, and actually disseminating that information so if people need help or they're looking for help and they don't know where to turn, they find that lawyer and they find you, the real estate agent, that is sitting there with the Renovate to Sell program, or you can sell it outright in cash, or you can help them do a 1031 exchange so you sell their property. Then you talk them into leveraging their property so they can go ahead and double down, and you just basically tripled your money. So overall, that is the basic concept. You know what sucks is I don't know how to open this damn thing. I figured out how to close it. Here it is. Okay. That is the basic concept of what it means and how to farm lawyers. Now I'm going to offer this up to you, and then I'm going to put a caveat at the end. If you're interested in trying to dig deeper into this, if you want to do a deep dive, I will help you. You can come and reach out to me. I've had a couple people do it in the past, and I'm going to be honest with you, they wasted my energy. So if you want me to open up my books to you, because I've already done the hard work, I'm talking about over a week. I paid somebody to show up and start putting together this list, and it took a long time. If you want to start diving deep into this, you can come see me. If you waste my energy and you don't actually follow through with it, don't be offended if you come to me and say, Chris, I love this idea, I want to try it, and I just don't. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to pass. If you do want to explore this option, make sure you come and actually get on it. Because I'm telling you, if you do this and you do it consistently and you start treating it like interviews, you're trying to schedule an interview with these lawyers, there is a lot of money to be made. A lot of money to be made. Based off of the same concept, whoever does it, I will take you into the next levels, which next levels are going to be CPAs, accountants, tax people. We're going to start going a little bit deeper, and we're going to start going and talking to planners, because let me tell you, those people are working with, poor people don't go work with financial planners. It's very rare. And it's not, and I'm not saying that in a very negative or derogatory way. I'm just being honest. People that don't have money don't sit there and go, you know what, I don't have any money. I think in order to get some money, I should go pay a financial planner so I can figure out how to make money. They don't do that. It's usually people that have money. They go and talk to financial planners, and financial planners are always trying to find ways to either hide their money, adjust their money, or adjust their money. That's correct. One is correct. So most of them won't talk to you unless you have about $150K to start. Good financial planners, you got to have money. They aren't even going to deal with you. My uncle has a business along those lines, and it's looking like I might be going out to see him again here soon. And the reality is, his clients, you know, they're making usually at a minimum $1 million a year net profit to themselves, and his job is to try to figure out different unique ways to help them hide it. And one of the big ones that he always pushes is real estate. I wish he lived local. They always push real estate. Hey, this is how you hide your money. Here's how you adjust your money. Here's how you get depreciation. Here's how you get this. Here's how you get that. So if that's true, should we not be farming those people? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. I'm just going to answer it for you. So with that said, are there any questions for me? Because like I said, I want to keep this extremely short today because we do have a meeting at 9:30. Any questions for me?
Hey, Chris, I got a question.
Yes, here, hold on one second. I probably should have turned off my music. And yes, I'm listening to Mass Effect. If you don't like them, I don't care. Okay, let me turn up my speakers here. All right, I'm ready.
Okay, so how do you see it if multiple agents kind of hit the same lawyers? You know, do you see that as a benefit on them seeing multiple agents coming in from Kimson Associates, or do you kind of divvy it up so they're kind of not just maybe one's hitting it, or what do you see the benefits on either side?
Good question. Okay, benefits on either side. And I've put a lot of thought behind this, and actually reached out to a buddy of mine that actually, this is what he doesn't do this, but he does something along these lines. So when you talk about going after investor deals, whether it's yellow letters, white letters, and since Chet asked me this question, you probably already know what I'm talking about. You know what's unique about that is when there's multiple. It looks like you may be experiencing degraded audio quality. Give me 1 second. Close any unused internet applications. Can you guys hear me pretty clearly? Anybody not hear me clearly? Okay, so I guess you guys can't hear me clearly. I'm just going to keep cooking that. When you are the only person that's sending a specific type of letter to a potential seller, whether it's absentee owners or anything like that, you know, you get some traction. They're going to look at you, and everybody would like to be, well, I'm the only person that's talking to this guy. Yeah, okay. The odds are good there's going to be multiple letters. Now, if your content, your stuff is quality, it actually helps prime that person because they're kind of getting hammered with all this stuff. So they start going through and they're looking. So now What's going to separate you from the other people in the other piles? Being the only person, so let's say we divvied this up amongst all the agents, and I've thought about that. The challenge is what I'm learning. I would love to believe that everybody on the team would take this and they would work extremely hard to close deals and get it done. What I'm learning is it doesn't always work that way because people either get busy or they get distracted or they forget about doing it. You know, it's sort of like the gym. It's like, well, I didn't do it today. I'll do it tomorrow. And then it's been a week. Then it's been a month. I don't like taking opportunity away from somebody that's going to sit there and say, I'm going to grind on it every day. And here's the thing. There's nothing new or unique about this, Chet. So what I would say is even if I didn't provide the list to everybody, anybody that's on this team, if they wanted to go out and create this list or find this list, it's not hard. It's public record. And they can grind on it anyways. So to me, if there are multiple people from Kim Steele and Associates calling all these lawyers, then it really is going to come down to, holy crap, Kim Steele and Associates, these guys are really on it, and they really have some serious stuff. And then it comes down to scheduling interviews with these people and getting on it. Now, could there be negatives? Yes, there could be negatives. One of the negatives I could see from having everybody just calling all the same lawyers is sort of like what we experienced to a point with the expired listings and we hitting, you know, a ton of the expired listings. You're going to get negative feedback from certain people. But we also got a hell of a lot more deals than we have traditionally or normally just by calling, you know, here and there one person daily. So I don't know. It's one of those things where my personal opinion, the information, I just put it out there. It's in the world. It's real. Any one of you can start calling all these people. I gave you all the ideas. So whether I provide a list or not provide the list, the people that are going to hustle and that are going to work their asses off, they're going to do it anyways. So does that answer your question, Chet?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Do you have any input, or maybe do you want to put in your thoughts?
I know it's just whenever I did it, went down to the courthouse, there's a lot of BS. So anybody who has not gone down that route, it's very, very time consuming. You're hitting up with a lot of other agents. They're going through. You have to, and once you're normally seeing the list on a probate, let's say, you're just seeing it from the starting point for the most part. So then you've got to wait and mature, and if you're contacting the actual people involved, you're contacting the lawyer. It can get very, very time consuming. So you're working with buyers, that can be from 3 months to 6 to 8 months. You're kind of, could be even longer if you're dealing with this situation. So I think that, you know, I'm really liking the idea on hitting the lawyers to where now you can build a relationship with them, because the people that are in this distress situation because someone passed away, they're going to trust their lawyers. Yep. Just do whatever you want because I don't want to think right now. And that was some of the challenges I got. Yes, I got some deals off calling the people directly, but again, that was like months and months later on before they could even do anything. So I really like the idea of just, you know, pounding the lawyers and kind of going that route.
You know what you didn't bring up, Chet, was family greed. You know, what Chet and I ran into a lot as well. The people that don't get lawyers involved, you just got family greed. It's not their money. They never invested in this property. They didn't do crap for it. They didn't even visit their grandparents before they died. Yet, because there's multiple people that are fighting for this thing, it never really gets to the finish line, or even then they start having unrealistic expectations. Being able to, and that ends up just sapping your energy because you end up becoming the lawyer, and you don't want to be. Being able to go behind the lawyer and let the lawyer do that crap, that's his job. So really your only job is to sell the property, renovate the property, clean out the property, get the property on the market. That's it. Let the lawyer deal with that stuff. And yeah, it's family greed, man. It always tripped me out. But yeah, so are there any other questions? Please ask away. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay, it looks like somebody just posted up one. I like the idea of putting them on Sync and Agent Legend and create a campaign specifically for them. Okay, Edie, I do not want to talk you out of that. before you put them into Agent Legend and start creating campaigns, I cannot express to all of you enough. This is a call to contact situation first and foremost. If you are not talking to lawyers and you just start flooding their inbox with garbage, they will never, ever, 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 ever work with you. If you do not have the courage to give them a call and schedule an interview, you will not succeed. Okay? So before you create campaigns like, oh, I'm just going to pop them in there. Look, that's a secondary. You need to call to contact with these lawyers. You need to schedule interviews as if it's a listing appointment so you can show up. And if you want, we can do a class, we can do round robins, we can do training right here in the house where for a few of you have done listing appointments with me. Anybody think I'm okay at doing listing appointments pretty good? Come on, I need some self-esteem pumps here, people. Yes, thank you. Okay. So we can go through on how you position this. We can actually create, thanks, Don. Yeah, I know you're kidding. So we'll position them on, these are our programs, this is how we do it, this is what we can provide, here's what we charge, and here's how we can add value to you and your business as well. You basically treat it like an interview. After you interview with this lawyer, so Chet, to go back to what you were saying, do we really want all these people calling all these people? Hey, interviews are interviews. There's a lot of freaking lawyers and a lot of CPAs and a lot of other people. Look, we only have 17 people on the team right now. That's right. We did a listing last week together, Don. Really cool house. Looking forward to having that one come on. There's a lot of people that we all can go out and create listing appointments with. What I would highly recommend, you guys should be fighting to at least get 1 or 2 listing appointments with lawyers per week from here on out. Now that you've learned this gold nugget, you show up, you do your pitch, take your binder, give them information, and then you take their information, because while you're interviewing with them, you're getting their email address, you're getting all their stuff, and then you build them into Agent Legend. Then you build them into Sync. So you can start sending them stuff. They can start seeing the open houses that you're doing every week. God, you know, Edie's out there killing it. She's out there doing a new property every week. She's out there hustling. She's sending me stuff talking about probate, sending me stuff talking about home sales and renovate to sell. You know, that's how you basically line them out. So over time, you're always in front of them. They're always receiving slide dials from you. They're always receiving text messages from you. They're always receiving emails from you. They're always hearing from you. And whenever they start getting, because they interviewed you, they liked you, they felt like they knew you and they trusted you, next thing you know, you start getting probate deals. You start getting divorce deals. You start getting whatever. People go to lawyers sometimes and say, hey, I'm thinking about buying a house and I'm not sure. You're a lawyer. You're a friend of mine. I'm not really sure if this is what you do. You know what? I know somebody. You should talk to them. They're really smart. They're in real estate. They're a real estate agent. Give them a call. So, Edie, like I said.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Chris. It's actually kind of to go off of what you were saying with Edie. Things that I'd recognize is with these lawyers, they have gatekeepers.
Yep.
That is their secretaries and things of that nature. So just
Noreen.
thinking that a lawyer is going to be sitting at the phone and then just waiting for you to contact them and start talking and set up interviews, you're going to have to go through the gatekeepers first. And they get a lot of this kind of same information. So keep that in mind, that you're going to have to somehow schmooze them in order to get in. So, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. I just kind of want to, go along with what, with I'm saying, hey, just send them in sync and blasting and so on and so forth, because it will go to nowhere.
That's right. You're 100% right, Chet. That's fantastic input. So that's really what it is. If you start just trying to blast them, you're never going to get in front of them. If you want to know a script or 2 scripts on how to schedule those interviews, because you really don't want to go in there right off and say, hi, I'm Chris with Kim Steele and Associates. I was hoping to sit down to show you, to tell you the good word of real estate. Like we're going to show up in our white shirts and go door knocking. That's not what there's a process, and really you are going to end up having to talk to the gatekeeper, and you are going to be, and one of the easiest ones is, you basically reach out to them and say, hi, my name's Chris. I'm with Kim Steele and Associates, and I was hoping to schedule an appointment with lawyer A to talk about probate situations. I work with a lot of clients that are dealing with deaths, and I was just really hoping to sit down and ask a couple questions. And in return, because I do work with a lot of clients that have either probates or divorces, insert whatever it is, I'm really looking to interview lawyers to potentially start sending them my clients. So right off the bat, you're adding value, saying, look, I work with a lot of clients that do X, and I was hoping to start interviewing lawyers to potentially start bringing them the people that I work with, because I deal with a lot of divorces, and I'd like to start bringing my divorce clients, because I get asked all the time. But the truth is, I've never sat down with any divorce attorneys. So I'm not really sure who a good divorce attorney is or what makes a good divorce attorney. I don't even know what a divorce attorney should be doing. Do you think I can schedule appointments so you can educate me so I can start bringing my clients? That's how you get in. Then when you show up, you bring them information. This is what we do. And yeah, I work with a lot of divorcees, and I just want to ask you some questions. Like you do divorces, you do probates, so what do you provide? How does it work? This is what I've experienced in this, and this is how I get my clients, and they reach out to me for these different situations. Did you know we do a renovate to sell program? That's why a lot of people reach out to us. Really? Let me tell you a little bit about it. So you kind of seeing where I'm going here, folks? Lots of good stuff. Okay, any other questions? No other questions? I'm going to count down real quick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You should be. Okay, we are done, folks. I will see you at 9:30 for our office meeting. Thank you so much for coming today. I hope I gave you some good information. I hope you got some good nuggets out of it. And I'll see you later. All right, bye.